And normally that is followed by an immediate command to start the engines, but there will be a slight delay right now because of having to take the cars back to the garage area and then back out to the track again. They are refueling some of the cars, so in just a couple of minutes we will hear those famous words or some variation thereof. Let's check in with Jack Garrett. Jack.
Al, how important is aerodynamics? Well, the Target Team Ganassi crew is literally taking helicopter tape and taping over a lot of the grommets where you can take off the side pods to try and make it smoother. As we count down towards the Indy 500, for Juan Montoya, Juan, is it still just another race?
No, it's not another race. I think it's a big event. You know, it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens.
What about on the start? Will it be a challenge into turn number 1?
No, you know, we're going to try to make it pretty simple. You know, if we have a run, we'll have a run. If we don't, we'll settle for second or third, whatever we are.
In 200 laps, Al, probably the most important area are these mirrors. And Vince Welch, we know that these mirrors can sometimes make the difference between winning and losing, especially if you don't look in them.
That's exactly right. Scott Sharp has his mirrors right here, and he's starting at the front, in fact, the middle of row 2, so he's going to have a lot of cars in the back. Scott, you had a significant problem with your clutch in the last practice session on carburation day. Is that a concern for you now? You've not had a chance to run the car since then.
No, it's not, Vince. I'm really confident in these guys. We had a slight adjustment problem. The car was fine in the air, but once we put it on the ground and loaded it, you know, it gave us a bit of a problem, but the Delphi guys fixed the car. We got out at the end of carb day, a couple shakedown laps, everything seemed to work fine.
Everything seems so hurried right now, but these guys have got their focus. They're ready to go. It's been a long wait for the Indy 500, but we're just about there. Dr. Jerry Punch.
And a moment ago, they were rocking LSAO Salazar's car back and forth. You see him rocking Juan Montoya's in the distance. They're trying to get the last drops of methanol in before we fire them up. We'll lean over and ask Juan. Juan, with the delay and the threat of weather, does that change your strategy with the possible threat of weather?
Well, you know, we have AJ, you know, on the pit, you know, monitoring the situation. So he's going to tell us if we need to hurry up, you know, before halfway. But he says, you know, he'll be in charge of that. So he'll make the final decision. He's the master of this.
You said in the drivers' meeting you and Juan and Greg Ray had a gentleman's agreement at the start. What is that?
Well, that we expect, you know, Greg to hit the bricks first, and then, you know, Juan and me will follow him. But that's only if everything is perfect. If he's slow, you know, getting out of the, you know, making the gear changes, you know, we can take the lead. But we're going to respect him if he doesn't make any mistake.
And guys, the rules are no passing until you hit the bricks, and then it's anybody's race into turn 1.
And Jerry, right behind Eliseo Salazar is his teammate, Jeff Ward. Jeff, have you talked to Eliseo at all about maybe some tactics on the start?
Well, not really. I mean, he's just going to try to get ahead of the guys in front of him. I'm just going to try to get ahead of the guys to the left of me. But basically, you know, they earned their position. We just want to get off to a good start, drop in, and then get to that first fuel load, and then see where we're at.
This is the only race in the world where they start 11 rows, 3 abreast. You find yourself on the outside, awfully close to that concrete wall. Does it concern you?
No. I like passing guys on the outside, so it's I like being out here better on the inside. It's you see a little more. You don't get pinched off in the middle of the corner. You have a little more track to use, especially on the opening lap when the track's clean. So we'll just see what these guys do up ahead of us before we get going.
Vince Welch, they say that the outside line is the advantage. You got to remember, too, he drives the defending champion car, number 14.
Well, we'll see if the outside line is the advantage for Robbie Buell. He starts on the outside of his row. Robbie, will there be an easy way to the front today?
No, I don't think there's an easy way to the front. We just got to stick with our game plan and just kind of see what develops here in the opening laps and get a sense of what the pace is and make sure we can do something to be around at the end of this thing.
Robbie Buell, he's looking to make his way to the front. He's already won one race this year, and that was in Orlando. His teammate today, Steve Knapp, has already lost radio communication. It's a one-way deal for Knapp right now, and the race hasn't even started. We'll keep our eye on that one and see how that might affect his performance. Al Michaels?
Okay, thank you very much, Vince. As the crowd amuses itself doing the wave here, and it won't be long before they'll be waving the green flag at Indianapolis for the start of the 84th Indy 500. Thinking of Jack Garrett talking about the start of the race and 11 rows of cars, 3 abreast, and that straightaway is only 50 feet wide. Let's go upstairs right now to the guys who will call the race. Bob Jenkins, along with Tom Sneva and Ari Lyondike. Guys?
We're just about ready to go racing. Thank goodness. Tom Sneva, the 1983 winner, is on my right, and Ari Lyondike, a two-time winner of the 500, is on my left. Let's explain a little bit more about this delay and why we're having this hold here before gentlemen start your engines.
Well, actually, they're trying to fuel the cars. They had to warm them up again, and you know, they get a precise amount of gallonage to run the 500-mile race, and this is the second warm-up because of the rain, so they had to top off some of the tanks.
We've been talking to many of the drivers down there, Ari, but nobody has asked the question, are you nervous? When you're in your race car at this point, are there at least butterflies?
For sure there are butterflies. I mean, you always feel them, and the excitement of the race, and just to be here, you know, even upstairs here in the booth, I got goosebumps as this whole tradition starts all over again. But definitely the drivers are nervous, but now they're just focused on getting through the first lap clean. And you hear the drivers talk a lot about, you know, gentleman agreement and things like that. But if there's an opening in the front row, we know a guy like Jeff Ward is going to go for that opening, because that's in your nature. You're a race car driver. You're trying to move up, not back.
I'm sure all the eyes are on the skies because, of course, everyone wants to know whether this is going to go the full distance. An official race is 101 laps. Let's hope we can get the entire 200 laps in here this afternoon. Al?
Okay, thank you, Bob. And they are telling us that the forecast for the rest of the afternoon is good. We will find out. Well, they always have an honorary starter, someone who waves a ceremonial green flag, and the man in the foreground is our boss. That is Howard Katz, who is the president and executive producer of ABC Sports. He will wave the green flag today. That is a perk and a half. Let's go back to Jack Arute.
Al, Jimmy Vasser first came to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with a very good friend of his named Jim Hayhoe. Since then, he's been away for a while, but he's part of this potent Team Ganassi team. Jimmy, does your experience here count for anything today?
Well, we'll wait and see.
How about this long delay? How frustrating is it for you? Because I know you've waited for a long time to get back here.
It's not so bad. I mean, it's the same for everyone, just trying to wait out the rain. I mean, it's pretty simple like that.
This is number 2 car in the Target Team Ganassi team, but it is also a number 1 driver, and we want to show you right here on the steering wheel. See these 2 little lights there? When a yellow comes out, those lights will begin to blink. That's a signal for a driver to slow down. But also when those lights go out, it's a signal that the pits are open and time for service from his Target Team Ganassi crew. 6 guys over the wall. Al?
Hey, Jack. Well, they're telling us right now another beautiful aerial view of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, that in about 2 minutes we will hear the sound of those 33 engines at Indy.